Mike Trout is the face of Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Angels center fielder has already amassed a ton of individual awards, including multiple American League MVPs, All-Star appearances, and Silver Slugger awards, and also has the career numbers to back up his elite status. Of course, only the most elite names in North American sports can command a 12-year contract worth $426 million, which in 2012 was the biggest contract ever signed by a professional athlete. And if you include Mike Trout's endorsement deals with his contract, he has a net worth that is well over $630 million. That's a lot of dough for someone who makes a living out of hitting balls. And with all the cash he has in the bank, how exactly does Mike Trout spend his hard-earned cash? From real estate to luxury cars to philanthropic efforts to a huge wedding proposal and to growing investments, let's take a look at how Mike Trout spends his millions. Real estate. After all of the home runs he's hit while playing for the Angels, Mike Trout has accomplished another home run outside of the playing field when he purchased a mansion that's worth $9.15 million. The property is located in Newport Beach, roughly half an hour away from Angel Stadium in Anaheim. That's also the same neighborhood where the late great Kobe Bryant used to live. The MLB's nine-figure man recently renovated the three-story mansion located in Harbour Ridge and has given it a more modern and contemporary look that's complete with its very own elevator. With a total of 9,000 square feet of living space, Mike Trout outfitted his home with amenities such as a billiards room, a wine cellar, a sauna, and also a swimming pool that's complete with its very own spa. That's Mike Trout's very own resort right in the comfort of his own home, and he probably doesn't need to go all the way to the Bahamas to enjoy a relaxing day. Aside from that luxurious home in Newport Beach, Mike Trout also keeps a more modest home in New Jersey and is planning on building a dream house in the same state as well after he'd purchased a large property just outside of his hometown in Millville. Cars. It's not unusual for the best and highest paid athletes in the world to be spending on luxury cars, and Mike Trout is no exception to that rule. We know how fast you can hit those home runs, but Mike Trout also loves fast and fancy cars. That's why he owned a Mercedes-Benz S-Class AMG that's worth $150,000. He, however, ended up wrecking the car in a freeway accident a few years ago. Still, Mike Trout does have some more backup wheels in his garage. That includes the $60,000 Chevy Silverado Midnight Edition that Mike Trout won for his efforts as the All-Star MVP back in the 2015 MLB All-Star Game. Let's just say a man earning that much didn't even need to win a free truck. Not to mention, he also won a Corvette in 2004's All-Star Game as a reward for being the MVP. In fact, he actually won 2 cars in total in that game. Can't really say that I'm shocked seeing his track record. Of course, Mike Trout's wife Jessica also rides in style when the MLB's nine-figure man bought the woman of his life a Porsche Cayenne back in the Christmas of 2014. Let's just hope we find our own Santa Trouts in time for the next Christmas. Charity. The more you receive, the more you should give. In Mike Trout's case, he's spent a ton of his time and hard-earned millions in philanthropic efforts. In 2015, he was the Santa Claus that came down the chimney for the DeSimone family, whose house had just burned down just a few days before Christmas. He visited the family on Christmas Eve and surprised everyone with presents at a time when they needed someone the most. It was also in 2015 when Mike Trout came back to his hometown to surprise an 8-year-old fan suffering from a severe eye condition with his time and presence after the boy had just undergone corrective eye surgery. He got to see Mike Trout for the first time in his life, and it was in person. Aside from that, Mike Trout has been active in partnering with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Orange County and has been seen gracing the children with his time while also donating exorbitant amounts to the charity and other similar institutions. Mike Trout was also one of the leading names that urged other MLB players to donate to charities, helping those affected by Hurricane Harvey back in 2017. The $27,000 he donated is a play on the number 27 on his jersey. We'd probably hate to be the guy who wears number 99, especially if he isn't earning the kind of money that Mike Trout is. Just recently, Mike Trout has also been active in helping those greatly affected by COVID-19's pandemic. This included donating 300 gallons of milk to 300 families affected by the pandemic in Millville, New Jersey, and feeding an entire store in New Jersey with pizza. Yum. Wedding proposal. Mike Trout doesn't only fly in planes when he's on his way to play in away games, but he's also made use of an airplane in his wedding proposal. In July of 2016, after spending a weekend in Boston, Mike Trout hired a skywriter to write a message in the sky while proposing to his longtime girlfriend turned wife, Jessica. From all that we've seen Mike Trout do on the playing field, we know he could have also written the message by himself. But hey, it's impossible to be both on a plane writing a sky message while staying on the ground proposing. Mike Trout probably thought it was best for him to hire someone to do the skywriting instead. And with the kind of money he has, paying someone else to do it was probably the best decision. Dog Instagram. Los Angeles Angels star outfielder Mike Trout just continues to amaze us. How so? He set up a personal Instagram account for his dog. His account even has a following of 7,000 people and is absolutely adorable. I'd love to see what photo his dog uploads next. Woof woof. Investments. Of course, it would be silly if Mike Trout didn't invest his money the right way. That's why he became a high-profile investor of Body Armor, a sports drink company that's looking to challenge Gatorade as the leader in its industry. The other high-profile athlete that invested in Body Armor was Kobe Bryant, who owned 10% of the company. Even though Body Armor only had a 2% share of the market back in 2017, it has steadily risen over the past few years and is expected to give Gatorade a run for its money by 2025. And in 10 years, Body Armor could even be the largest sports drink in the world if it plays its cards right. With Mike Trout investing on a company that's still on the rise, we can expect this high-profile Body Armor investor to have a net worth much larger than the $630 million he currently has. By 2025, he might even be a billionaire for all we know, and could be spending his money on more luxurious items and properties. Let us know in the comments below what you would do with $630 million. That's all for today, and we'll see you in the next video.